Okay, everyone. Gee, it's come around quickly. This is how we're going to roll today on TFF. It's going to be these short fire presentations, which we're really excited to bring to you today and actually swing our way around the globe as we do it. But we do have some international speakers. So along with Eleonora, we have Doc, who is coming to us from the US as well. So Doc Kevin Lee Elder has come to present to you today how you can elevate your data skills as a charity contributor. If you want a fun and exciting way to practice and hone your data viz skills, there are lots of data do-good opportunities that you can join. And there's loads of employers out there who are interviewing candidates because of some of the things like Viz for Social Good actually do, because you can use these in your resumes and your portfolios. So Doc's going to show you a plethora of places to get started that you can help you to level up your analytics game, while also helping nonprofits and charities. So I'm really super excited today to bring you Doc and have him share his wealth of experience. So, hey, Doc, it's really lovely to see you again. Welcome.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good. All right, very good. Yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. And as you can see from my background and from my shirt, most people kind of know me for Viz for Social Good, which I've been doing with Chloe since 2018 Tableau conference, probably. So about 4 or 5 years. I've been working with Chloe on Viz for Social Good, but with my students, I've been doing this for a long time. And there's lots of places and lots of ways you can get involved. So I'll do a little Viz for Social Good chatter, but in about 4 hours, we've got another session where some of our volunteers will be talking about Viz for Social Good. So not totally here for Viz for Social Good. I want to just lay out lots of ways that folks can get involved in lots of places. And one of the first things I'll do is show you where you can grab all 99 of my slides, because I'm not going to talk about each one of them, but you can grab them with all the links and everything to get started and go out there and find some groups to help. So that's what I want to do tonight. So let me share my PowerPoint here. So you guys seeing my PowerPoint?
We can.
All right, let me start it from the beginning, and we'll see if you see the right screen or if you see the wrong screen. Are you seeing the full screen, or are you seeing my control of it?
The wrong screen. I can see a tiny URL down the bottom, so I can probably see the left or right of your screen. It says grab the slide deck here with the links.
All right, so is this better?
Oh no, so that was the beginning. I can't see. Okay. It's just, it was right the first time, Doc. It's my fault.
Oh, okay. No problem. I can swap them back. See, one is full screen and one has the forward progression of the slides, and I can see the next one and all that jazz.
That's it. Okay, we're good to go.
All right. So again, right down below, there's the URL if you want to go out and grab all 99 slides and have them and take a look at them. And I'll leave them out there for a while. So once the recording is up, folks who are watching the recording can grab this, because again, that's what I try and do, is I try and be a place where folks can come and ask questions and see what's going on with Viz for Social Good, what's going on with doing good with data. How can you get involved? We'll find you lots of ways. So how can you get in touch with me afterwards and do a follow-up and see and get more involved? I'm out on Twitter all the time. So there's my Twitter tag, Dr. Kevin Elder. There I am on LinkedIn, Dr. Elder over on LinkedIn. And I got a couple of email addresses now. I've moved down to Louisiana, and I'm doing analytics and cybersecurity at Louisiana Tech University down in Ruston, Louisiana, where we just had a tornado 20 miles away the other night. That was fun. And I'm also doing some industry research and advisory services with Dresdner Advisory. So you could reach me either place. And we can follow up and we can talk about this. So again, about 4 or 5 years ago, I'd been using Tableau for several years. And when I went to the TC conference, I found the foundation folks and I said, hey, what are you guys at Tableau doing as far as charities? And I found out that Tableau has a great foundation and they're doing tons of stuff. So I encourage you to go out to tableau.com/foundation and take a look and see what Tableau is doing out there. They've got a data equity hub, which is pretty cool, and collecting data, and they've got a bunch of initiatives that are out there. And one of those initiatives that I found is Viz for Social Good, and I found Chloe, and I've been on the board and working with Viz for Social Good for quite a while. But there really are lots of things out there, and so that's what I really want to do tonight, is just flip through some of these as fast as I can, talk about as many of these as I can, field maybe any questions that you all might have for me out there. And if not, I'll just keep plowing along and showing you places. So Tableau has a bunch of partners out there, all kinds of folks that they're working with, and all kinds of projects that they do. So through Tableau Foundation, you can find all kinds of interesting things that that are out there. Again, my favorite, of course, is Viz for Social Good. And we've got lots of projects and things that you can join, and lots of things that we can do, and lots of ways that you can volunteer. And again, in about 4 hours after I'm done, Joanna and Satoshi, two of our volunteers who have done some fabulous data vizzes for us on previous projects, they're going to tell you all about Viz for Social Good. So let me point out some other ones that are out there that some of my favorites. As long as I've been teaching information systems and computers, we do not have enough females out in industry. So I have always done outreach to as many organizations that are trying to get rid of this gender imbalance, and girlsplusdata.org is a great place. And they always have a need to get some volunteers out there and help them, help them with their website, help them with some of their branding, help them with putting together some of the curriculum, help them at events going into high schools and middle schools. And now I've got my students going out to elementary schools and saying, come on, folks, we know your parents have all these careers and they've got all these aspirations for you, but data viz is a great field out there. There's all kinds of opportunities out there. And there's all kinds of ways that you can help folks out. So here was an example where Girls Plus Data was looking for a graphic designer. And so this is something that I find often, not so much with my students, but with folks out in industry, is that people come from so many different backgrounds. So I come from a business background. So of course I'm much more on the business side. So if you need help with marketing or accounting or keeping track of your supply chain, well, I can provide you a lot of help. Graphic designer and really making that page jump out, that's not my strength. But we have a need in all of these charities and organizations for folks that have those kind of skills. Social media. I love social media. I love playing on Twitter. I love doing stuff on LinkedIn, but there's a lot more to social media if you're trying to use it to get people onto your site and interacting with you and doing things with you. And so again, all these organizations are using it and need help with that. And again, I've developed lots of curriculum over the years, but anybody can really help with this. And people are like, well, I'm just beginning in data viz. And it's like, well, what resources have you been using and what have you found lacking? And what do you think would have helped you, a few months ago, just a few months ago when you first grabbed Tableau and you started working with it? What did you wish somebody had? What did you wish somebody would have showed you? Create a blog. Let's write it up. Let's make a little quick tutorial. You're brand new to data viz. What do you need help? You might be the perfect person to help design that rather than somebody like me who's been doing this for 30 years. I lost the forest for the trees by now. What is it like the first time you do this? Whereas if you're just getting started, definitely need help. I cannot imagine what Fee and Fred and all these folks that put these events together. Wow, it takes a lot of effort. I really enjoy Viz for Social Good. So I say, what time do you want me there? And I show up and I do my thing. These folks that run these events put in countless hours and do so much work, and just about every one of these charities and organizations can use your help if that's a skill and something you enjoy doing. Another site that I've been pointing students to for quite a while is digitalhumanitarians.com, and they've got lots of partners that they work with. And so, like, for example, they do disaster response programs. So we just had some tornadoes here in Louisiana a couple of nights ago, and folks have got to get up there and they've got to help them, and we've got to get the word out and we've got to let people know. And so you have skills, you have things that you could do to help these folks out. And so digitalhumanitarians.com is a great place with lots of partners, lots of organizations like the World Food Program, the Statistics Without Borders, which I'm going to highlight in a few slides here, is another one of my favorite ones. But again, disaster response programs have been around for a long time. We've been doing a lot of work with those, and then COVID-19 hit. How is COVID-19 different? How can we help folks? How can we do things? We could definitely use some help, use some expertise for some folks, and really take our combined experiences and help a charity. It's really amazing what we can do when we take that time. So again, here in the US, we've got the Red Cross. They are always looking for volunteers. They're always looking for folks to help out, especially, like I say, for disaster response, but they do all kinds of other things. I love to go over and talk to the math department and the computer science folks and say, you guys are really good at stats and you're good at computers. You know, there's a lot of places and a lot of people that are not good with stats, not good with computing. I always think of Anna with Atlanta Tableau User Group and her background in stats and how well she uses that. And we just had a great first presentation talking about lying with stats and whatnot. So if you've got a good math background and a good stat background, there's lots of places that could use your help. And so these folks in that organization do a lot of good work. And I would encourage you, if you've got a strength in that area, to look there. That's kind of my whole, I'm a broken record tonight of saying that, where you've got a strength, where you've got a background, where you've got a passion for something, find a group that could use your help and do it. You do so much more. I mean, that's what I try and find with my students. So I'm like, okay, what's your interest? What are you interested in? And I get them to do a project in that. They're going to put a lot more time and effort, and they're going to care a lot more, and they're going to do such good work. And by doing that work, they really dig into the tool that they're using. They learn it so much better. They become better at the tool. They become better at data visualization. They become better at analytics, and you're helping out an organization. So again, that's what I try and do with my students. That's what I'm trying to do tonight. That's why I got 99 slides. It feels like, oh, 99 slides. Are you crazy? Sure I am. Everybody knows that. I'm Doc Elder. This is what I do. I try and put lots of information out there, show you lots of places where you can go to. So datakind.org is another great place for you to go out to and see, you know, what's their story? What are they doing? What is their mission? What are they trying to do? What's this whole idea of a data corps and folks that understand data science and what you can do with all of this big data that these organizations have? Because if you stop and think about it, every organization has data, and a charity or a nonprofit doesn't have a whole data science division. They maybe don't even have anybody that really understands data that well. So just about every charity or nonprofit can use your help one way or another. And so again, maybe you're not an expert at data visualization and analytics, but you've got an expertise, you've got some background, you're pretty good in some area, some aspect of it. And that's where, as a group, we get together and work on projects, and we do it as a team. And it's really amazing when you combine folks together. So datakind.org has the do good data branch, and they do a lot of interesting projects out there. Again, somehow my slides got mixed up. I got Statistics Without Borders, and now we're coming back to them. But again, they have helped out a lot of organizations across Africa. They've done a number of projects, and I always like to point out African projects because it seems to be an overlooked continent. We like to look at Europe. We like to look at the US. I've got a lot of Australian friends, so I think of Australia. It's like, wait a minute, what about Africa? That's a big country. They have a lot of poverty. They have a lot of need there. And it's amazing what we can do to help them out. Maybe a little plug here for not really a competitor, because I know a lot of organizations use both Tableau and Alteryx. And so if you're an Alteryx person and you like to work on the data engineering side, well, they've got Alteryx for Good, and they've got lots of projects and things that they do. And so if you're working with a charity or a nonprofit, they've gone through all the paperwork to show that they are a nonprofit charity, both Alteryx and Tableau will give them free licenses. So they will have licenses to be able to use their product. Well, where are they going to begin? What are they going to do with it? Enter all of you as someone who can go into that charity and say, look what we could do with Tableau. Look what we could do with a tool like Alteryx to try and bring things in for you, bring this data in, help you analyze it, help you run more efficient. Because again, a charity is not trying to make a profit. A charity is trying to do as much as they can with a small amount of money. Well, there's not a whole lot of difference there between folks that are trying to make a profit and charities who are trying to stretch their dollar as far as they can go. And again, Alteryx also has Women of Analytics. And I know there's a number of folks involved with Alteryx, from Fee again, and Jamie Beeson, who I worked with last year at JLL. There's lots of women in analytics, and there's lots of groups out there. And one of the things that I like on Alteryx site, for example, is how do you start that conversation with a non-for-profit? How can you get going and see what is their need? What are your skills? What's your background? How can you help? And so I love to take my students and show them this process and send them out there, send them out to some of these nonprofits, some of these charities, and see what can we do for you? Where could we get started? How can we help? And again, there's lots of places out on the internet. And so I'm just trying to show as many of them as I can, as quick as I can, and then point you to the slide deck and go, hey, have fun, go out there, find more of these, tell me more, I'll add them in. We'll get up to 200 next time I do this talk. And we'll just point folks to opportunities where you can help out. So here is Solve for Good. This is another interesting organization where they try and go out and help people solve problems and see if there are data and ways that we can go out and help folks solve their problems. And so again, we're trying to do it for folks that need help. So lots of social good projects, working with food banks and shelters, just all kinds of stuff. And then again, every once in a while, one of these disappears. And I wonder, why did they disappear? And if I could have highlighted them before, maybe we could get some people in there and maybe they wouldn't have disappeared. Olga is a great data analyst. She's a VP, I think maybe at one of the banks in Canada now or something, but she had a great data for cause site, and she was doing all kinds of really cool projects. And then it kind of disappeared. So I point my students out there and I say, well, she's still got some resources out there on data.world, which is a great place to go if you want to find some data. And let's go see what she did. Let's see what's out there. Let's see how we can help other organizations so they don't have that same plight, have that same kind of thing that might happen for them. So here's another place to go that's great to get some data sets, to get some projects, because again, that's what you need early on in honing your skills in data viz is you need some interesting projects, you need some interesting data, you need a blank slate. As I tell my students, you need no answer key, no solution to this problem. It's up to everybody to take a look at it and creatively try and find some solutions to these projects. So again, Data for Good is out there under lots of different names. So DataKind is in the UK. They've got a group in New York City. There's several of them in Bangalore and Dublin. There's just all kinds of these groups. And for many of you, they're hidden out there. Who are these folks? What are they doing? What are the kinds of projects? So again, I'd just like to highlight as many of these as I can as I'm hitting about my 20-minute mark. And I'm only about 49 slides in. So movingworlds.org is another really good site to find some really good social impact projects where maybe you can lend your marketing expertise, or maybe you can help with some Tableau data analysis. Maybe you want to learn more about machine learning and get a data set from one of these groups and grow that skill. And you're helping out a charity. There's a whole group called Pro Bono Analytics, and I've done some things with them through the Informs organization. And they'll help explain to you how you set these things up, how you run events and organizations, and how you sign volunteers up. And so Pro Bono Analytics has lots of good information out there if you're wanting to start to run some sessions and do some things along those way. Medium is a great resource out there to read up and learn about trends and learn about things that are going on out there. And so there are several really good Medium articles. And then, of course, many of you are familiar, they've now started Nightingale to really kind of look specifically at data visualization and how we can use data visualization. So I would point you folks to there. Many of you know about Kaggle. Kaggle is a great place because they have all kinds of competitions. My students love competitions, and I think a lot of us love competitions. So let's throw a competition out there. Let's throw some money out there. Here's one for 100,000, 30,000, 25,000. My students know I just like swag. Give me some swag and I'll do a contest with you. I'll try and help you. Kaggle has lots of great competitions out there, ways that you can get involved. And again, my point is find something that you care about, find something that interests you. You'll put a lot of time and effort into it. You're honing your skills, and you can turn around and use those skills on your day job, the thing that pays the bills. But in the evenings, on the weekends, you can do some of these projects, spread them out throughout the year. The UN has a new website where they've combined several other websites to make it easier for you to see all of these charities and projects that are out there. And so I would encourage you, if that interests you, to take a look at the UN. Catch a Fire, this will be the last one I'll probably walk through with you. Catch a Fire is a really fun group and organization out there. They need some help with some logos. They need some help with storytelling. Who doesn't need help with storytelling? Practice storytelling by helping a charity tell their story. Create some ad campaigns for them. Create some really stunning visualizations to help people see these charities, the homeless projects, the food kitchens. We have so many of these right in our own backyard. Everybody does, and there's just so many places and so many opportunities that you can do stuff. I know Professor Klaus over in Europe, he'll be doing a talk later, so I had to throw in some academic stuff. If we have any other academics out there, IEEE has now, at their last few sessions, they've been doing some Data for Good panels and working with some folks. I know Andy Kirk does a lot of presentations, has a lot of things out there to help you learn things. And then again, my favorite, of course, is Viz for Social Good. Viz for Social Good, we take on a dozen or so projects a year. We take on the charity. They give us the data. They tell us what they would like to have us dig into the data and see what we can do with that data. And then we get the volunteers to submit them. The charity goes through and takes a look at them, pulls out their best visualizations that they really like. We contact the volunteers. I run a session at the end where the volunteers present their data vises and their analysis to the charities. And the charities always pick their top 1 or 2 or 3 projects, and it's really fun. And I just love to see folks grow as they go through more and more of these projects. Like Nicole Clausen, who will be doing a couple of talks later. Nicole, her very first viz she did for Viz for Social Good, they selected, and now she's a top 15 Iron Viz finalist. Everybody can do this. It's a wonderful thing for everybody to do. So I encourage you to do Google searches, do good with data, Viz for Social Good. Lots of organizations are out there. So go grab my slides and go to work, volunteer, set up some sessions, interact with some folks. And by my clock, I'm done. I've run out of time. Fred's up there going, okay, Doc, I'm giving you the hook, 25 minutes. Let's see if anybody has any questions. I'm sure some folks might have a few questions. But again, the slides have got a lot of information out there, a lot of resources that you can go to. So I encourage folks to grab the slides, see some of the resources. And so again, contact me. I'll point you in the right direction to help people out. I'll point you to Viz for Social Good first, but there's lots of other ones out there. So whatever your interest might be.